Welcome back to the Crochet Crowders with my friends at yarnspirations.com. This is a refilm of an existing tutorial where I was too quick and the stitches are not always easily recognized because I use dark yarn. So today is a 2-in-1. What I decided to do is not only refilm this, but I'm going to give you extra tips in order to be able to see the stitches. And once you understand where the stitches are, the tips that I will be sharing with you, you may not have to do it for yourself in the future. I'm also going to use a larger crochet hook and thicker yarn so that you can see exactly where the stitches are going to go. This is classifying as a beginner level, but I would say that it's more easy than anything, like easy level, which is the next level up. And we're going to be working our way through here. Now there's two hats that I have, and you can see this one here is called Red Heart Roll With It, and this was in the color called Theater. And you can see that I used a stitch marker, which is just spare yarn, to be able to tell where the seam lines were when I was coming around. This is one of the problems with this particular design, is that the type of stitch work that it is, it's not always easily recognizable when you come around the circle. I also have a second version, and this one is called Red Heart Roll With It, a melange as well. And this here is in the color called Tabloid. And I left my stitch marker and just to show you there here where it's gonna go. So once I got to the base, I was fine with this. Now you should know that both of these, the brim is not exactly what it was showing in the pattern. I found myself, I wanted to customize it. So I wanted to match it to Daniel and I's head. So the brim, if you compare to the original, you see how you see 5 ridges here. There's only actually 3 on mine, and it just hits exactly where I wanted to hit on my head. So you can customize the length of this for this. This is an average adult size, and these are going to work out really well. If your hat comes out way too small, then just make sure that you are following the gauge of 13 single crochets and 14 rows. We have videos on how to do gauge if that's of interest to you. So I'm going to start right away, and this is actually a pretty quick hat, and we just have to get ourselves through rounds number 1 through 10, and I'm going to have some stitch markers, and I'm going to show you some extra tips that I didn't do the first time that I think may be more helpful the second time. To prepare for this tutorial, I have one color that is going to be my start and stop of a round, and then I have 6 other here that will represent the way that this thing is going to grow. You're going to notice that it will turn into a hexagon shape, and what I want to do is that I want to put these in between some stitch work that you're going to notice that will look like a hexagon coming out, and that's what we're going to do. So let's begin our first piece. So you're going to use your Caron Simply Soft or your Red Heart Roll With It melange, and you can be able to do this pattern with a 5mm size H crochet hook today. I am using a size 8mm in crochet hook, which is an L, and I'm using a Bernat Softy Chunky only for demonstration purposes. This hat will not fit if you do it with the same yarn that I'm about to demonstrate, but I want to show you where the stitches are going to be. So we're going to create a slip knot, and we're going to begin the beginning chain. So let's begin. We're going to chain 2, so 1 and 2, and we're going to do our first round in the first chain from the hook. So we're going to create a slip knot and insert your hook in, and you need to chain 2. So 1 and 2, and now we're going to do our first revolution for round number 1. So we're going to go second chain from the hook, which is the very first chain you started with, and I need you to put 6 single crochets in there. So going in and just single crochet 6 times. So we have 1, and go right up over top of the straggler as well when you do this. So you got 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So before you end this, I want to get a stitch marker ready. Now you will have a small hole in the top of this. This is big because of the size of the yarn, but before you finish, lay in your stitch marker right here. Okay, and this will indicate when you come all the way around, and you're going to join with a slip knot to the beginning chain, so to the beginning single crochet. So you're going to count back 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. It's right here. As experience, I knew that, but if you know how to count it, it's easier. And you're just going to slip stitch yourself to that moment. So slip and pull tight. And this now represents when you've come all the way around. Let's begin round number 2. Round number 2, you're going to chain 1 and you're going to single crochet in the same one of the join. Pull through 2, so it's a single crochet. Now the next one is your single crochet, but you have to chain 1 before you do it. And now you're starting to create the foundations for the moss stitch. So you'll single crochet in the next stitch, and then chain 1. Single crochet in the next stitch, and chain 1. Single crochet in the next, chain 1. Single crochet in the next, chain 1. And you see where this is? This helps you indicate where the slip stitch was last time. So this is your last stitch. So after you've done your chain 1, single crochet here and chain 1. Before you join it, make sure that you can count 6 single crochets. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See this? Flip it up and join to the beginning single crochet and pull tight. Okay, so that stitch marker has moved up. You're just going to let them float, and then you're going to begin round number 3 next. Okay, I'm pulling my stitch markers closer to me so I can have access to them, and I want to apply these as I go. As we begin the 3rd round and all remaining rounds until you get to the brim, you're always going to slip stitch to the next chain 1 space. So right where you're sitting is on top of the single crochet, and you want to go to the next space and slip stitch to move over by 1. Now, you're going to create these single crochet, chain 1 single crochet spaces that are going to exist here. So you're going to chain 1, and you're going to do this just for this one, the chain 1, and single crochet in first, chain 1, and in the same spot, you are going to apply another single crochet. But before you finish that and do it, just put in a stitch marker there and then do a single crochet into the same spot. And what this is going to show you is where this chain 1 space is. You're going to chain 1 and you're going to go to the next chain 1 space. It's right here. And so you'll single crochet, chain 1, grab another stitch marker, place it in, and single crochet into the same stitch. If you can identify this chain 1 space and you don't need to do this, then don't. Okay, so chain 1, go to the next chain 1 space, single crochet, chain 1, another stitch marker. There's a total of 6 of these. Okay, chain 1, go to the next space, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet into the same spot. Chain 1, go to the next chain 1 space, chain 1, when this gets bigger, you'll be able to easily tell what this is, but for now, because it's tight and small in your hands, it's kind of hard. So chain 1, and then you're going to come into this space right here. See where the stitch marker is? That's your last space. So you're going to single crochet, chain 1, put your stitch marker in, single crochet into the same spot. So now just got my 2 into the last one here. This is where I started. Grab that pink one or whatever color you decided to do, put it here. So you're going to chain 1 and you're going to slip stitch to the top of the first single crochet. So this lets me know when I've come all the way back around, which is important. Let's move on to round number 4. So in round number 4, we want to continue to make this hexagon shape bigger. So we're going to create a flat side and then corners. So there's 6 corners and 6 flat sides. Right where we started is the wrong spot, and I want to go into the first space, which is indicated here by the stitch marker if you've decided to use it. So just slip stitch over first, and then you're going to chain 1, and in the same spot, single crochet, chain 1, and make sure that this comes up. Okay, so it's in between, and then single crochet in the same spot. Okay, so if you can't see it, when you come back around, just move the stitch marker to the front side of the work so that you can see it. Chain 1. You're going to come into the space. So this is not a corner, this is a side. So go into the space, chain 1, and then go to the corner that's marked with a stitch marker. Okay, so I don't want to interfere with that stitch marker, I just want to go around it. So single crochet, chain 1, and make sure that that's visible, and single crochet in the same spot. So you can see this again in the future. Chain 1, this is a side, going into the space, chain 1, this is a new corner. So single crochet, chain 1, move your stitch marker in position so you can see it. Chain 1, single crochet in the next space, chain 1, come into your next corner, so single crochet first, chain 1, move your stitch marker up so you can see it in that stitch, and then single crochet. So I can still see it when it's like this as well. So chain 1, you're in a side, chain 1, you have a corner. So single crochet, chain 1, move your stitch marker up, chain 1, and this here is the side. So because this is a bigger sample, you can clearly see when I've come all the way around, but on the smaller stuff of the real hat, it's hard to tell. So chain 1, you're coming into your final corner, and I can tell that because my stitch marker for the ending is coming up soon. So single crochet, chain 1, move your stitch marker up, and chain 1. And do you see where the stitch marker is then right here? This is the beginning and the ending. That's your last space of the round. So you'll single crochet, chain 1, and make sure that this goes right here so that when you attach it and join to the very beginning single crochet, you can see where that is. So this stitch marker is going to keep on moving up on a spiral, which is normal. So let's begin the next round, number 5. So number 5, we are going to make this hexagon bigger, so we still have our corners that are marked with the stitch markers. And if you don't need those, then you can pull those out at any time. But what we want to do is get continually bigger until we get to the circumference of the crown. The crowns do not look very big, but the pattern gets, when you keep going round and round in a circle without any growth, it naturally gets bigger on its own. So we're going to move ourselves to the first chain 1 space, which happens to be a corner. So slip stitch over first, chain 1, and single crochet into the same space, chain 1, and move the stitch marker up so you can see it, and single crochet into the same spot. So you're going to chain 1, and now this time there's 2 spaces before you get to a corner that is marked right here. So you'll single crochet into the next space, chain 1, the next space, chain 1, and then your corner that is marked. So you'll single crochet first, chain 1, move your stitch marker up, and single crochet into the same spot. So chain 1 and come along the side. So single crochet, chain 1, single crochet in the next space, chain 1, and then your corner is marked. So it'll be single crochet, chain 1, move your stitch marker so you can see it, chain one, and now you're back on a side. So you're going to do this all the way around, and I'll be back closer to the end of the round and just continue to make this bigger with the sequence that I'm showing you. I'll be right back. When you come back around, I just did my corner, chain one, and I got 2 spaces. So I have this space, and the very last space is marked with the stitch marker here. Chain one, and then I'm going to move that stitch marker up. So if it gets shorter, just pull more on it. Don't pull it all the way out, and just slip stitch to the top of the first single crochet. And so that'll help you see where this is, and you can see it's going up on a spiral. Let's move on to round number 6. Moving on to round number 6, we're going to slip stitch ourselves to the next space, which is indicated by the stitch marker that you see there in the corner. And we're going to slip stitch over first, chain one, and you want to keep this as a corner. So you're going to single crochet, chain one, and move the stitch marker up, and single crochet in the same spot again. Now you're going to chain one, and now there's going to be 3 spaces before you get to the next corner. So you see 1, 2, and 3 before the corner. So you're going to single crochet in the next space, chain one, the next space, chain one, the next space, chain one, and then your corner is next. So you're going to single crochet first, chain one, move your stitch marker up. I'm dying to know if you like the stitch marker idea or not, so let me know in the comments, please. So that's your corner. So then you have 3 spaces before you're going to get to the next corner. So chain one, go into your space, chain one, space, chain one, space, chain one, and then corner. So please do this all the way around for round number 6. Continue to move your stitch markers up, and I'll be right back in a few moments. So I'm finally finishing the last corner, and I have 3 spaces before I join it. So you go into the space, chain one, space, chain one, and see where this is? That's your last space. And you have a mark to be able to confirm. Chain one, move your stitch marker up. So this stitch marker that I'm using right here, I'm always going to use until I get to the brim. The other ones, I'm going to take a break in the next round, and I'll show you why. So join it to the first single crochet, and you're noticing that it's a very hexagonal shape. So this here will start rounding off really soon, but not quite yet. And even on your small sample, it should be looking the same. Let's begin round number 7. Round number 7, I want you to take a break from these stitch markers that you've been using on the corners, because what we're going to do is that we're going to circle all the way around without creating a corner. So we need to move to the first chain one space, which is indicated by this, and you're going to slip stitch over, chain one, and single crochet in. So you're not making this a corner. Let this stitch marker just rest. Chain one and move to your next space, and chain one, and keep going to the next space. So we're not creating any corners in this one. So chain one, going to your next space, and you're doing this all the way around. Go to your next space, and then because you have this marked, you can see where this space is. So after you've chain one, go right into the corner space, chain one, and keep on going. So don't create a new corner there. Okay, so go all the way around. So every space has a single crochet followed by a chain one after. I'll be right back at the end of this round, number 7. Coming around on round number 7, and just keep on filling in those spaces. So this is your last one. So continue to move that stitch marker up so you can see it, and join it to the first single crochet right over here. And pull tight. And now we're going to begin round number 8. And round number 8, we're going to reintroduce the corner. You see that it's kind of buckling a little bit. That's the whole point of this round, to start now rounding it to the crown of your head. Let's move on to number 8. Round number 8, we're now going to move to the next space. We're going to recreate our corners again. So we're going to slip stitch over first, chain one, single crochet in, and move that stitch marker up that you had rested there, and single crochet back in. And this is a new corner that you just created. Now, you're going to do 4 spaces here before the next corner happens. So you're going to chain 1 after this, single crochet the next 4 spaces. So single crochet, chain 1, that was 1, next space, that was 2, okay, so there is 4. So you have your corner and the 4 spaces. So I've chained 1 after it. So the next space that you'll run into is going to be a new corner. So it'll be a single crochet, chain 1, and move your stitch marker that's resting. And single crochet in. So chain 1, and it's 4 spaces again. So it's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then the next one is the new corner. So it'll be single crochet, chain 1, bring the stitch marker up, and single crochet back in there to create the new corner. And then chain 1 and do your next 4 and do that all the way around for round number 8. I'll be right back. I'm coming up on the end of number 8 and I'm just filling in the spaces after the last corner was done. And this here with the stitch marker is my last space. Chain 1 and move this up. Okay, and you're just going to slip stitch like that. Okay, and then we're ready for the 9th round. The 9th round, we're gonna have another break, and so we can let those stitch markers here just all rest. So just get ourselves to the next space, which is indicated by the stitch marker because that's a corner, chain 1 and single crochet in. So don't make this a new corner, just let it go. So chain 1 and go to your next space. Chain 1, go to your next space and do this all the way around. So don't create any corners and it will get more rounded off when you're at the end of this round as well. Okay, so the next corner is coming up. So just single crochet in it. Don't recreate the corner, just chain 1 and just let the stitch marker rest and just move on to the next chain 1 space. Please do this around for number 9. Coming at the end of number 9, I'm just filling in all the spaces and I can tell that this is the last space. Chain 1 and move that stitch marker up and slip stitch to the beginning, single crochet. We're gonna move on to round number 10 next. So the 10th round is our last growth round. Of course, my sample here is really exaggerated compared to what it should be. It's about this big here. Okay, so it's not too big. So we're going to begin number 10, and 10, we're going to recreate those corners again. So we need to slip stitch to the next chain 1 space that's available to you, and that's where we're going to begin and make a new corner. So chain 1, single crochet, chain 1, and then move that stitch marker up, and this will be the last time you're using these stitch markers here. And you're going to single crochet in the same spot. So now you're going to chain 1, and the next 5 spaces will all be single crochets followed by chain 1s. So just start counting them. So you just go 1, and then chain 1, and then 2, and 3, 4, and 5. This is your new corner right here. So you'll single crochet, chain 1, move your stitch marker up, and single crochet in the same one again. So repeat then, chain 1 and do the next 5 spaces. So it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Don't forget to be chaining 1 after each one of those singles. Move your stitch marker up, or sorry, you're doing the next one, so you'll single crochet, chain 1, then move your stitch marker up, and single crochet in the same one. Chain 1, and then keep on doing the next 5, and etc. So please do this all the way around for round number 10. So I'm coming into my very last one. Here's my corner, and I got the last 5 spaces. This is the last one, which gives me my 5 spaces, chain 1, and single crochet to the beginning or sorry, is slip stitch to the beginning single crochet. So this is the last time. We've now created the growth, and now for the remaining of the hat all the way to the brim is going to be the same instruction. So let's quickly talk about that. The next round all the way to the brim is going to be the same thing, and so the growth will have stopped somewhere around here. And so now we need to go to the whole length here until you're ready for the brim. In the instructions it says the information will be from here to here to be about 7 inches. I feel like it's too long for my head and Daniel's head, and so I felt that 6 inches was enough because this is only a partial of the brim. So what you're seeing here is actually 6.5 and then just a partial of the brim. But if you want the full brim, I would stop around 6 inches and then start your brim. So you have to decide what you want to do. So maybe go to 6 inches, see how it's going to fit on your head or whoever's going to wear it, and then determine if you want to go 6.5 inches before starting the brim, or you want to start the brim at that spot. You can add more to the brim if it's too short as well. But what I need to do is that I need to get you to this spot here, and we're going to change our instruction at that moment to get ourselves a little bit tighter, and that's where I'm going to pick you up. So let's just do the next round that I'm about to show you, and you're going to do that all the way down until you get to the spot. So for the remaining of this round, plus all the ones to the brim, you are just going to go in a complete circle. So you're just going to start in your next space. So you slip stitch, chain 1, and single crochet in. So you can get rid of these stitch markers here that you've been playing with because you no longer need them. So chain 1 and just go to your next space, and chain 1, and keep doing that all the way around. Okay, so you're just essentially just applying a single crochet in each of the spaces that you have, and as soon as you pass the corner you can rip out those stitch markers because you won't need them. So just chain 1, and hopefully the stitch markers helped you. You can let me know in the comments, and then just keep on going. So no longer making any corners. You can take out your stitch markers and be happy once you pass them, and etc. So please do this going all the way around. I'll see you at the end of the round just to make sure, and we're going to continue then to the brim after that. So I'm coming all the way around, and I chain 1 and I slip stitch to the beginning. So make sure you move your stitch marker up so it's easier to tell. The stitch work in the regular size yarn and hook, it's hard to tell when you're coming all the way around. So now you're ready for the next round, and it's simply just move to your next space. So slip stitch, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1, and then keep on going. So it's going to take a few revolutions before you start to see it bowl off like a hat, but you have to trust the pattern in order to make it happen. Some people just think it's going to happen immediately. It doesn't. So every time you move it along, this here will be moved up your stitch marker, and it will still continue to go in a spiral as you saw within the sample here. Okay, so what I want you to do is just go round and around. So my next sample that I'm about to bring up for you is actually done with Caron Simply Soft. You see that I'm coming up on an angle. This here is 6 inches between the top of here and here. So the other sample that I showed you was 6.5. Okay, so it's a bit of a difference the way that it looks, but then I can get the full brim on this particular sample versus the other one that I did where I stopped the brim early. So please go round and around until you're either 6.5 or 7 inches, depending on what you want to do, and then we're going to start and make the brim at that point, and I'll be right back in a moment. So on the instructions, we are now going to be finishing here. So you can either have 6, 6.5, 7. If you want it even bigger, like a slouchy, you can go bigger. It's up to you. And then we need to begin this beginning edge. We'll then convert it from 84 stitches that it was, and we're going to get ourselves down to 76 stitches. So we're going to start eliminating stitches just for this one round, and then the remaining 2 and 3 is just a repeat. And so you can see it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 in the repeat after this is done. Okay, but in my sample you don't see that many. You only saw that it got repeated twice, but you can decide. Let's begin the edging round to reduce stitches. So we're now ready for the edging of the first round. We're no longer going to worry about the moss stitch of these spaces. So we're going to start off, and there is a repeat pattern that makes sense, and I'm going to show you the way that I counted it. Hopefully it will make sense for you. So you're going to just chain 1 right where you are, and you're going to single crochet on the top of the single crochet. So you're no longer moving to that chain 1 space. So single crochet there. Now for the next 4 stitches, they're all going to be using either a space or a single crochet. And the way that I did it in my brain is that the space is for 1, the single crochet is 2, the space is 3, the single crochet is 4, the space for 5, single crochet for 6, space for 7, and the single crochet for 8. So it's a total of 8. You're going to jump over this chain 1 space, so don't use it, and you're going to single crochet into the next single crochet. And then you're going to begin the count of 8 once again. So the space for 1, single crochet for 2, space for 3, single crochet for 4, and keep doing that. So 5, 6, 7, and 8. The single crochet should always be the last one of the 8th. You're going to skip over the next space, single crochet the next, and then start again. So in the space for 1, single crochet for 2, and etc. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Skip the next space, single crochet the next, and start your 1 through 8 again. So please do this all the way around for the edging, and I'll be right back in a moment. So I've now just got my final 8 in here, but I'm not quite here, so I'm just going to skip the next here and single crochet into the next single, into the space, and into the single, and that's it. And I want to just join it to the beginning single crochet. Now, going forward, we're no longer going in a complete revolution of going round and round. We are going to turn this around, and we are going to look at the wrong side, right now the WS, and we're now going to start the patterning of doing the brim. So we have to go back in the opposite direction for the second round. If your stitch count was wrong on the last round, don't worry about it, because there's nothing left in the pattern that matches anything that you need to have a sequence for. So you're going to chain 1, and you're going to use the back loop only. So in stitch work, there's always 2 strands that make up a stitch. So 1 and 2. So you want to use the strand that's away from you, and the first one is harder to get into. So I like to turn it this way and just dive into the strand that is the furthest away from you. So if you turned it like this, it'd be this one right here. And you're going to dive in, and as I said, the first one is a bit of a pain, but it's worth it. Just trust me. Okay, so I'm in the back loop here. It took me a bit, and I'm just going to single crochet, and then I keep going in the back loops. The first one is always a bit tough, and you're just going to single crochet using the back loop only, and you're going to go all the way around, and I'll show you where to finish, and then we'll move on to the next round, number 3, in a moment. And this is creating a ridge. The ridge is appearing on the inside of the hat right now. You have to trust the pattern, and I'll be right back at the end of the round. Now I'm coming all the way back around. This looks like a stitch, it's not. So when you get all the way back around, just slip stitch to the beginning. Okay, you'll add an extra stitch if you say that one I just showed you is a stitch. Turn your work back to the good side of the work, the right side, chain 1, and again, using the back loops only, you're going to go back in the opposite direction. So this will be round number 3, or it's considered row actually, because it's not going all the way around in a continuous revolution. So you're then going on the back loops all the way back around, and I'll see you at the end of this round, number 3, in a moment. So when you get back around, you're going into this one. Don't go into this one here. It looks like it's a stitch, it's not. So just slip stitch to the beginning, regular spot, and then turn your work. So I need you to repeat rows number 2 and 3 a total of 4 more times. If you were doing it the size of your brim, if you want, you might want to just try it once in a while just to make sure that it's the right height for you, and you can stop at any point to make it your own, really. So what I'm going to do is, because I did do a 6-inch version versus the 6.5, I'm going to do the full brim, and I'll be right back in a moment. So just make sure when you finish that, you turned your work, you went to the back side, chain 1, and then continued to the back loop only, and single crochet yourself all the way around again. So please do this, and I will be back at the end of the repeating section and finish off today's tutorial. So I'm at the end of the repeat as it stated in the pattern, and I just slip stitched, and now I'm good to go. So this looks normal when you're doing crochet. So if you see that, it's not you, it's the work itself. You can take out all your stitch markers that you have and just turn your hat to the inside and use a tapestry needle to be able to hide in the loose ends. Now, because this is a solid color, you don't really have much loose ends to work with, and you can just begin to do that. Okay, just keep it along the brim. Don't let that hit to the good side of the work. And it's better if you can split the fibers, not just go between the strands itself. And just go back and forth carefully on the inside of the hat. And therefore it'd be done. So this here, when you turn it around, it looks just like the original because I kept it just the same, and this is a great pattern. Now when you're wearing it, you don't necessarily want to pull it like this. You want to keep it, if you look at the original, you kind of keep it like that. So when you push it down onto your head, just push up the brim a little bit and it will compress these nicely, just like that. And one last thing, I did try this on. Leaving it with the 6 inches plus doing this was the perfect length for me, and it was awesome. And I hope you have a great day and hope this tutorial was of help to you. You can let me know in the comments. We'll see you again. Bye-bye.